Imagine the scene. You have just woken up. Your phone vibrates. The light barely passes through the curtains. Your brain has not yet chosen between returning to the real world or staying in the last strange dream where you were late for an exam that you never prepared for. You open your eyes, you look for your phone, you yawn quietly, and then something comes up. Not a deep thought, not a spiritual revelation. A smell, a real smell. A smell that seems to come from your own mouth, but which gives the impression of having spent the night locked in an old damp sock at the bottom of a sports bag forgotten since 2014. You close your mouth immediately, as if you had just captured a wild animal. You look around, no one is there, fortunately, but doubt arises all the same. How is that possible? You haven't eaten anything since last night. You haven't spoken to anyone. You were just lying there, innocent, asleep, trying not to do nothing. So why did your mouth just betray you like that? Oh, hi. Welcome to the laboratory of annoying things your body does without asking your permission. Today, we're talking about a mystery that almost everyone knows. Why does your mouth stink in the morning? And no, the answer is not simply because you're dirty. It's more subtle, more biological, and frankly more insulting to the bacteria that work all night in your mouth like a small team of invisible criminals. Before we blame your toothbrush, your dinner, or your destiny, let's play a little game. Myth number 1. Bad breath in the morning only happens to people who don't brush their teeth. False. Even a person who brushes their teeth, flosses, drinks water, prays to their tongue, and sleeps with good intentions can wake up with suspicious breath. Myth number 2. If your mouth smells bad, it has to be your stomach. Not necessarily. In the majority of cases, the main culprit is not hidden in your stomach, but directly in your mouth. Myth number 3. Sleeping with your mouth closed is enough to avoid the problem. It would be beautiful. It would be simple. But your body has never signed this contract. So, what is really going on? To understand morning breath, you must first understand that your mouth is not just a mouth. It's a city, humid, hot, full of corners, tunnels, surfaces, small hiding places, microscopic food remains, dead cells, and millions of bacteria that live there as if they paid rent. During the day, this city is monitored by a very important cleaning force: saliva. Saliva is not only used not to speak like an old dry biscuit. It rinses, it dilutes, it transports, it helps neutralize certain acids, it limits the accumulation of waste, and it keeps bacteria from getting too confident. Basically, saliva is the municipal police of your mouth. As long as it's circulating, bacteria can make a living, but they can't turn the place into a bad smell festival. Then night comes. You sleep. Your body slows down. Your brain dims the lights. Your muscles relax. Your swallowing rate decreases. And above all, your saliva production drops sharply. This detail changes everything, because when saliva slows down, the mouth becomes drier. And when the mouth becomes drier, the bacteria suddenly feel much freer. They don't need permission. They begin to decompose what they find. Tiny remains of food stuck between the teeth, dead cells on the tongue, proteins in saliva, small deposits forgotten in corners. And when certain bacteria decompose these materials, they produce volatile sulfur compounds. Human translation: small molecules that smell bad. Very bad. Sulfur is the family of odors that can remind you of a rotten egg, a dirty drain, or the feeling that something should have been buried with respect. So here is the first big secret. Your morning breath doesn't appear because your mouth becomes mysteriously dirty at 6 a.m. It appears because the cleaning system slows down while the bacteria continues its little life. It's as if in a restaurant the customers stayed all night, but the cleaning crew went to sleep at 11 p.m. When you wake up, don't be surprised if the floor is a little sticky. Now, let's scroll down the timeline, because yes, even your bad breath has a scenario. 10 p.m. 30. You brush your teeth. You think you've won. Your mouth feels fresh. Your mint is confident. Your tongue feels almost luxurious. 11:15 p.m. You fall asleep. Saliva production begins to slow down. You swallow less often. Your mouth becomes calmer, which feels nice, but for bacteria, it's the gates opening. 1 a.m. The surface of your tongue becomes an interesting terrain. The tongue is not smooth as a window. It has small irregularities, small areas where microscopic debris can remain. Bacteria love it. It's their favorite neighborhood. 3 a.m. If you breathe through your mouth, if your nose is blocked, if you snore, or if your room is dry, the situation gets worse. The air dries your mouth even more. Less humidity, less rinsing, more bacterial freedom. 5:30 a.m., odorous compounds are accumulated. No one speaks, no one drinks, no one chews. Wait, why do I use a table to illustrate? Short. The mouth is closed like a small meeting room where the bacteria have made questionable decisions. 7 a.m. You open your mouth, you yawn, and the chemical report of the night finally comes out into the atmosphere. Congratulations, your body has just published its morning report. But why do some people have much stronger morning breath than others? There, several factors come into play at stake. If you sleep with your mouth open, you dry out your mouth more. If you drink little water, the dryness may be more pronounced. If you eat a lot of garlic, onion, strong spices, or certain very smelly foods in the evening, your mouth and sometimes your breath may keep a trace. If you smoke, the smell clings and the mouth may become drier. If you have gum problems, cavities, a very clogged tongue, or leftovers stuck between your teeth, bacteria have even more material to transform. And if you are sick, have a cold, are allergic, or have to breathe through your mouth all night, your breath can go from the normally human level to the open a window please level. And now let's talk about the real forgotten victim, the tongue. Many people brush their teeth as if they were just cleaning the walls of a house, leaving the carpet full of crumbs in the middle of the living room. The tongue can trap a lot of bacteria and debris, especially towards the back, where no one really likes to go because the gag reflex waits in the shadows. But a loaded tongue can contribute strongly to the smell. It's not glamorous. It's not the type sentence that we print on a t-shirt. But it's true. Sometimes your breath doesn't come from your teeth. It comes from this little biological carpet placed in your mouth. So what does it really feel like to wake up with the breath of a discreet dragon? Psychologically, it's a little private humiliation. You haven't spoken to anyone yet, but you already feel judged by the air around you. You suddenly become very aware of your mouth. You speak less close to people. You look for water. You chew gum as if you were signing a peace treaty with humanity. And that is precisely why the subject is funny, because it is universal. In the morning, even elegant people, rich people, people who wear expensive perfumes and perfectly ironed white sheets can wake up with a mouth that reminds us that the human body remains a biological machine, not an advertisement for toothpaste. Listen, morning breath is generally normal. It does not mean that you are disgusting. It means that you have slept, that your saliva has decreased, that bacteria have been working, and that your mouth has gone several hours without active cleaning. It is unpleasant, but it is not necessarily worrying. However, if bad breath remains very strong throughout the day, even after brushing, hydration, and tongue cleaning, or if you have pain, bleeding gums, visible cavities, a very dry mouth all the time, or a constant strange taste, then it is no longer just the classic morning story. It's time to consult a dentist or a health professional, because sometimes the smell is a signal, not just a joke. So, how to limit the drama without turning your life into a laboratory ritual? Brush your teeth before sleeping. Gently clean your tongue. Floss if possible. Drink enough water. Avoid to let food remnants organize a colony between your teeth. And if your nose is often blocked, look for the cause, because breathing through your mouth can really make the problem worse. The goal is not to have perfect breath like in a false advertisement at 7 in the morning. The goal is to reduce the playing field for bacteria. Your mouth therefore does not stink in the morning because it hates you. It stinks because the saliva decreases, the mouth dries, the bacteria work, and the odorous molecules accumulate while you dream quietly. It's a little vexing, yes, but it's also fascinating. Your body does weird things all day, and sometimes it starts right when you wake up. So tomorrow morning, if your first yawn feels like an attack on the Titan's personal chemical, don't panic. Thank your saliva when it comes back to work. Brush your tongue with dignity, and remember that even your breath has a scientific explanation. Subscribe if you want to understand the other annoying mysteries that your body hides, because believe me, your mouth is only the beginning. Because soon, we will discover why the quietest farts are sometimes capable of emptying an entire room, all without leaving any soundproof.